Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be working on a graduation card. One of my nieces actually graduated from grad school, and so I wanted to make her a card. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking these geometric shapes from the stamp of approval box, and I'm just putting them onto the block so I can use them both. I decided to separate and put them on two different blocks. But I'm just going to do an arrow of the design going straight down the center. And then I'm going to take pieces of the stamp set from Stampin' Up. And it says, here's a little pump to celebrate your circumstance. I think it's so cute. And then I'm going to put the hat right up above that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move everything and get started. I was just trying to move stuff around, see what I was going to do here, but in the end I'll show you what we do. So I'm going to get some VersaFine black onyx ink, and what I'm doing here on this brown paper is really, I guess it would be like priming your stamp, because I want it to get the first couple of uses on like scrap paper, so that way I don't mess up the final piece, because sometimes when you have brand new stamps, you know, it takes a couple of stampings before it starts to print or stamp the solid black. And I could have used the Misty tool, but for quickness I just figured it would be easier to put it on the block, do a couple of tests, and then go from there. So we're going to go ahead and stamp the first one. And then after I stamp this down and pull up, I'm going to get my Tim Holtz ruler and a pencil. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just, I want to give myself a line for a guide, because I don't want to wind up, you know, it's curving and I didn't mean for it to be curving. So we're just taking these two stamps and we're going to stamp them every other one. So I did that one, I'm going back to the first one. We're going to stamp that again. And we're going to keep going until we get all the way to the top. Okay, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to go ahead and grab, I was looking at possibly putting my sentiment in the center of the round stamp on the Gina K stamps that came with the box, but the sentiment was just a little bit too big. So what I decided to do is I was going to go ahead and stamp the hat, the graduation cap, and then the sentiment underneath of it, and just leave that as is, because I figured if I kept stressing trying to figure out what to put it on, it was going to just prolong everything. So I just decided I was going to put them where I was originally thinking and go from there. And there we go with that. Now, in the process of putting this together, my plan was to do some foil accents. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm grabbing my gold foil, and we're going to use a two-way glue pen, and we're also going to use some double-sided tape. I got score tape, and we're going to put some gold accents on this. Alright, sorry about that. It just took a second. I put the glue, the two-way glue pen, on like every other one. I kind of skipped. But the thing with the glue pen is you gotta wait for it to dry before you put it down. So we're gonna do the score tape on the right hand side first. So with the score tape, once you put it down, you put the pretty side facing you. And then I took my bone folder to rub against the sticky tape, making sure it got good stickage. And then you pull it off. And look at that. A beautiful gold accent with very little effort. Now, I am going to tell you, I had a little bit more trouble on the two-way glue. This is my hint for anybody who is impatient or can't wait for something to dry. Don't use two-way glue. If you use the two-way glue pen and you have a problem with waiting, you're gonna wind up having to do more work than necessary, which is what's my problem right here. I'm rubbing on it and it's not sticking because it's technically still wet. So what I did here is I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna use some of the score tape to fill in and then put down some more gold to fix it. Alright, because I was so impatient for waiting, it just, you know. Oh, I did do it on camera. Okay, so I'm just trying to get a piece that's going to fit. And I'm trimming it to try and fit it within that, you know, piece of the arrow. And then once I take the tape off and I lay it down on the gold, pull it right up and boom. It's filled in and it gives the, you know, the stamping we just did a nice little accent. So I did the first two. And then I wanted to show you real quick because this one was really, it was dry really well. And then as soon as I was done on it, I thought I was getting it up and it started doing the same thing. The second one went perfectly. It was like I put it down, pulled it up, no issues. And then I go to show you guys the next one and it kind of did it again. So I'll just grab some of that tape, trim it down. And with that sticky there, just add a little bit of gold. And it's done. Isn't that cool how it does the accents? I love that with the pop of gold here and there. Ah. Alright, now on this one I'm zooming in. I want you to be able to see what I'm talking about here. So I rub it with my finger. And you can kind of see when it's catching, and even in the center when it's not catching, you can kind of see where you're going to have difficulties. And that one I felt like was pretty decent. It went right off. Now I put some two-way glue on the hat there. And the idea is that I'm going to let it dry and then do the hat. And then we'll put the card together and, you know, get everything done. Oh, and this is part of it. I'm going to put on some ribbon and lace. I think it's going to turn out really pretty. So I'll be right back. Well, didn't I tell you about how if you're not patient, you can cause a problem? There's my problem. So I cut out a punch. I'm going to do the glue again on this one. And seriously wait for it to dry. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share. And as you take a look, you'll see all the finishing touches with the ribbon and the sequins. And I even added a gold strip on the inside of the card. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you at our next video.